I thought he was just some weird kid I met online, but the night he called me crying and told me his family had performed an exorcism on him, he vanished. And 8 years later, a package showed up at my apartment with his name on it. Inside were claw marks that looked almost human. Back in 2007, I was in 5th grade spending hours in a Pokémon chat room on Yahoo. We were just dumb internet kids doing anime roleplay, fake battles, stupid drama, normal early internet stuff. But one kid in the group stood out. His username was Eli. While everyone else talked about Pokemon, he talked about monsters, Godzilla, demons, skinwalkers, chupacabras. His voice was always strangely calm, like he never really slept. Eventually we became friends. We'd stay on AIM calls for hours late at night. Then one night he asked me something that made my stomach drop. If I told you something, would you think I was a monster? I laughed. Dude, you're an internet role player, not a serial killer. But he didn't laugh back. There was silence for a few seconds. Then he whispered, I have blackouts. He told me there were times he completely lost memory, and when he came to, his hands would be covered in blood, sometimes animals, sometimes neighborhood pets. One time he woke up standing in his backyard holding a dead raccoon. At first I thought he was making the whole thing up, but his breathing was shaking. He sounded genuinely terrified. He said his parents took him to psychiatrists, but his deeply religious uncle insisted, this isn't medical, something is inside him. So they decided to perform an exorcism. That night, they turned off every light in the house. Only candles lit the room. His uncle started reading from the Bible while Eli was tied to the bed because they were afraid whatever was inside him might turn violent. As he told me this story over the phone, his voice kept cracking. Then he said, that's when something moved under the bed. Everyone in the room froze. Then they heard it. Scrrrr! Something scratching against the wood floor. His uncle shouted, don't look under the bed! But Eli's little cousin panicked and looked anyway, and immediately started screaming. Then something darted out from beneath the bed, fast, crawling across the floor in the dark. Nobody saw it clearly. They only heard it. Heavy breathing, scratching nails, and then bang! The kitchen door slammed open by itself. The entire house erupted into panic. The next morning, long claw marks were carved into the hardwood floor. And according to Eli, after that night, the blackout stopped completely, forever. But honestly, after hearing that story, I got scared of him. I slowly stopped answering calls, stopped replying to messages, and within a few months, he disappeared completely. No AIM, no email, nothing. Like he'd been erased from the internet. Then 8 years later, while I was in college, a small package arrived at my apartment. No return address, just my name written on the front. Inside was an old scratched up Nintendo DS and a folded note. Only 4 words were written on it. I think it followed me. Signed, Eli, my hands went cold. I turned on the DS immediately. There was only one audio file on it. The date matched the night before he disappeared. I pressed play. At first there was only static. Then Eli's voice came through, whispering, it's under the floor again. Then suddenly, scrrrr! That same sound, claws scraping against wood. His breathing got faster, then he whispered, oh god, it knows your name too. And right then, very quietly, something whispered my name. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I threw the DS away, but the scariest part, I swear the final voice on that recording wasn't Eli's. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear something crawling beneath the floor of my apartment.